Hi there, this is Justin from LemTask, and today we'll be going through Habitica and finding out if it's still worth it in terms of using it in 2026. So we'll just quickly go through it, as you can see right here, and then we'll talk about whether it's still worth it or not, what features are still relevant in today's day and age, and that will be all. So as you can see, the interface and the tabs we've already opened. If you want to find out more about how we did all this, including opening the account, you can always go and visit the previous videos. They are quite informative. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So we'll start with who still uses it or who still enjoys using Habitica in this day and age. So for the specific type of people, well, it's quite obvious. It's the people who like gamification or they like the rewarding functions. So if you like a visual progress, streaks, and feedback, it keeps you engaged, it keeps you motivated, then Habitica is for those kind of people. And it's especially effective if you are building a new habit or you're restarting a new routine. So especially for the earlier stages of using this tool, it's especially rewarding, it's especially energizing, like you feel motivated starting something new from the beginning. However, as you go on, obviously Habitica tends to be a bit different depending on the person. If you like it, if you keep on liking the same feature over and over again, despite your tasks changing, despite your tasks growing in terms of responsibilities, then this is definitely the tool for you. However, as more changes happen and you don't like the same rewarding system over and over again or on a constant basis, then this tool might you might have a different impression of this tool in the long run. However, that's how it is depending on an individual. So we'll go ahead and state the people who don't enjoy using Habitica. So these are the people who find Habitica not worth using, and it becomes harder to stick with in terms of the more workload you have. So it becomes harder to stick with because, as you can see, it tends to get clustered and it becomes a little complex depending on how you use it. As you can see, the reward system is still the same from the previous videos. So nothing changes in terms of the reward system, the gaming systems, nothing really changes. However, if you're that person who likes constant progress, constant features, then this is for you. So if for people who don't like it, managing ongoing responsibilities instead of forming new habits, the gaming function can become less helpful and tasks start to repeat, of course, like as in your habits, it's the same thing throughout and it doesn't change. And these rewards stop being meaningful. And, missing a day starts feeling a bit irritating, lack of a better word, instead of motivating. So instead of being overly stimulated, it becomes like an extra effort, something that you have to do instead of something that is fun to do. So that is one of the functions that it has. And that's what I would say is a trade off in terms of this, because instead of helping you and instead of it motivating you in the long run, it becomes a chore, it becomes something that you have to do on a constant basis. Although, yes, it helps you with your tasks, it helps you with tracking everything. However, it becomes a burden, especially with those types of tasks that need sort of project management functions added to it. Those tasks that need you to get like have that weight lifted off your shoulders. It becomes a bit of a burden since you have to carry most of everything on your shoulders anyway, despite having a tool to help you with that. So as you use the tool, obviously, as you grow, the tool doesn't obviously grow with you. It stays the same. And obviously, it depends on you, how you use it, how you adapt with the changes in your tasks and the constant constant the constant of the tool, like the tool remains constant. Obviously it doesn't change, and your task changes, and you grow as a person, and you adapt, or you take on more tasks as you grow in your career. So that depends on you, on how you continue to use the tool, whether you use a different approach or whether you just prefer to use another tool. So for context, this is how we use it on LemTask. Instead of having the same features, instead of it being a burden, or let's say it lacks motivation in the long run, LemTask is a tool that prompts you to complete whatever task that you have. And I'll just briefly show you on how it is. So here we have your ongoing tasks, and this, I'll just use one task as an example, and I'm pretty sure you'll get the hang of how every other task is like. Then we have the completed tasks here. As you can see, you just untick that, and then it will go on the pending tasks, and then you just tick it off. Then it will go to completed tasks. So whenever you completed your tasks, you can just always go back down, review what task you had, and obviously review the details as well. So segment practice. So this was an example that we created on the previous video, and that's how it is. So I'll start with this tool here, right over here. So we'll start with run e-commerce campaigns for client one, and then we'll go ahead and build up on that. Okay, so we'll just click anywhere on that, right? And then you'll get the details. So that's how you do a task for a client. You have your subtask, your onboarding, your research, your campaign setup, and you can add campaign optimization based on first week's results. There we go. So you can keep adding your subtasks as you go, and then here you can have your details about the client. So let me just quickly voice note the details. The campaign is about an e-commerce client that specializes in selling beauty products. So what we are doing here is trying to get them as many sales as possible with a ROAS of 4x or higher. So that's how we're going to approach this, and we'll be advertising or running campaigns for this client on Meta for the first stage of it. Then we'll go ahead and run. Okay, that's, I think that's the limit for that. So you can add more details as you go. So that's how you can approach it, or you can just continue with the voicing function. Go ahead and run campaigns on Google Ads as well. So there we go. So here with a ROAS of 4x or higher. There we go. So that's how you can do it, and you can add your details about the client as you go. And let's say you have until Friday to have the onboarding, the research, the campaign setup done. So that's the first three stages that you need to have done. And it's obviously high priority. It doesn't repeat, since this client is a once-off client, and this task is a once-off task that you need to complete. And let's say you'd need at least 3 hours a day on it to work on this specific client before going ahead and working on other clients. And then high priority, right? And then you can set high energy levels, since we only want the best for each client that we have. So we can have that. And then let's say the onboarding is done, the research is done, and we only have the campaign set up before Friday, and before everything is ready to go and we get some approval from the client, then that's pretty much it. So that's how you can structure these tasks in terms of running a project for a client. And you might get reminders each and every day, so you can have a function for that. And that should be it, really. So if you want to find out more about this tool, more about how to use all these features, then you can have the link, or you can see the link, or you can catch the link in the description below. And that's it from me. I will catch you on the next video. Thank you.